Hi everyone, this is Thomas Kinkade, and I am so excited to unveil today my newest painting. This is a painting entitled Mountain Majesty. Now, it's exciting for me to daydream about the mountains. Most of you know I love the mountains. I love going up into the mountains. In fact, I've done a lot of horseback riding to mountain peaks in Colorado, in the Rocky Mountains, in the Sierras. I grew up in a Sierra mountain town, so horses are just a part of my way of life growing up. And when I go up into the mountains, I love taking my paints. I set up on the mountainside and do sketches and plein air paintings. It gives me a chance to really immerse myself in the feel of that vast vista of a mountain setting. I'm excited because so far I have done 2 series on mountain subjects for print. The first series was called The End of a Perfect Day series, and there was 3 paintings in that series, which many of you who began collecting my work years ago are familiar with those as really the first prints I did of a mountain theme. Then I started a new series, again of 3 paintings. We started with Beginning of a Perfect Day 1, which was a setting of a vast vista overlooking a lake, imaginary mountains, somewhat based on mountains I had seen in the Sierras and in the Cascade Mountain Range. Beginning of a Perfect Day 2, on the other hand, was a painting that brought to life the Colorado Rocky Mountains. In fact, I was up in the Rockies painting and discovered this glade of aspen trees, and a little cabin was nestled in the glade of trees. So that's what I wanted to capture in that painting. This painting, on the other hand, is Beginning of a Perfect Day number 3. And this will be the last painting in the Beginning of a Perfect Day series. So if you like mountains, this will really be the last painting in this series. This is called, as I said, Mountain Majesty. Now, I would say that this painting is the most detailed of any of the paintings that I've done so far with a mountain theme. If you look carefully at the painting, you'll see some of those details, which were very fun for me to work on. It's based on an imaginary setting. At least I haven't found anything quite this dramatic so far in my travels around the mountains. But it is reminiscent of regions of Oregon where you have the Cascade Mountains, Mount Hood, and so forth, the little lakes that you see. It's reminiscent of a lot of the Colorado Rockies in their most grand form. It's even reminiscent of the Canadian Rockies. So I take all those influences and try to weave them together into an imaginary world that says to me the glory of God's creation, the drama of the mountains. As I worked on this painting, I had fun with many of the lighting effects that perhaps are more radiant than I normally would put in a mountain setting. I wanted to create the sense that the sun was just coming over the horizon, bursting through the clouds. And of course, as the sun comes through, the clouds are parting, but there's a lot of moisture in the air, and we see the rainbow being illuminated by the shafts of sunlight. I loved having the sense of reflection in this painting. Now, to do that, I took an actual tracing of the forms of the painting and reversed them on the lower half, traced it down, transferred it down, and began to recreate the reflections of what was above the lake, the mountain, and in fact the sunlight pouring through the clouds. I also put a reflection of the rainbow in. First time I've ever done that effect. It was kind of fun to put that little detail in, a reflection in the water of the rainbow that you see in the sky. I love painting cabins that have a sense of a well lived in quality. I loved putting all the little details, be it the campfire beside the lake that is still burning as the party begins to plan for its day and maybe head out on the lake in those canoes. I put a number on each canoe, 5-2 on one and 82 on the other. And of course, that's my anniversary date, the 2nd of May, 1982. I like to put my anniversary date in my painting so I never forget it. I also loved the sense of the waterfalls and the way water flows over the landscape. If you notice, you'll see waterfall in the distance cascading over the towering mountains, but also in the far distance we see the lake and a waterfall that pours into the lake. I love creating that effect. Of course, we have the lights glowing in the cabin. We know that the people are excited to start their day. The horses are waiting in the corral beyond, and we have a sense that this is a place to explore nature and to see different glimpses of God's creation. I also put the caribou, who come down from the mountains oftentimes, get curious when they see a camp, and of course they're making their way to the edge of the stream, perhaps to get a morning drink of water, and curious about the camp and the campfire. For those of you who like searching for hidden ends, I put 12 ends in this painting as a tribute to my wife, Nanette. So you can look for those yourself, because frankly, I don't even remember where they all are, but they're in the painting somewhere. You know, this painting is exciting to me for so many reasons, not the least of which is that it is probably the largest mountain landscape I've ever attempted to paint, 30 by 40 inches in the original. Now that allows me to put a lot of detail in it. It allows me to capture a very dramatic effect of radiant light, because you just have more size on the canvas. I'm also excited to tell you it will be reproduced in the 30 by 40 size. So it will be reproduced the exact size you see it here, as well as two smaller sizes. This painting is also exciting because it is the first piece we have ever published as a phased release. Now, a phased release is where the painting is published in two or more separate segments or phases. Now in this case, each phase will feature 3,950 pieces in the standard numbered canvas. Now, those of you who have followed my work for a while know that that's a very low number of prints to be released onto the market. So this one will be very scarce, very rare, and in terms of the number of prints that each dealer will have available. So if you like mountain scenes, I encourage you to see your dealer about this painting quickly, because there is a chance the availability will be very limited. Now the second phase will release a minimum of 12 months from now, so it could be a year or longer before it ever comes on the market again, and that edition again will be 3,950 in the standard numbered canvas. Like anything though, collectability is funny. There's a lot of premium put on being the first, and be it first editions in books or be it classic cars the first year they were made, there's something exciting about a first of anything. And in this case, the first phase will only be available for a very short time. Well, I never take for granted being an artist, and it just brings me such joy to know that God has allowed me to make my living doing what I love, and also that people are in some way touched or have their lives brightened in some small way through these paintings. It's something I am thankful for every day, and I really do appreciate each of you who support my work. God bless you, and we'll see you next time.